Hey, little buddies! I'm Zion. How are you today? I hope you're doing okay. Do you see my hat? Do you know what kind of hat this is? It's a construction hat. I like to wear it when I work really hard. Do you have a hat? Put it on! If you don't have a hat, that's okay. We can just put on our thinking caps. It's time to read with Zion on the Big Lake channel. And today, our story is titled Seeds, Part 5, written by Eliza Z. Nostal. Uncle Jake jumped in his truck and headed out to town. He had 2 lists. Well, actually 3. He had a list from Precious, a list from his wife Eppie, and a list for himself. He had a lot to do for tonight. It didn't help that his sleep had been so broken from all those toenails and elbows. But he had to make it happen. And so he would. It also had just dawned on him that he needed to bring Papa Freddy a roll of foil paper to double wrap those briskets. He made it to Townsend's Green Grocery and started gathering items from all 3 lists: foil, heavy cream, vanilla flavoring, half and half, 10 bags of sugar, lemon juice, orange juice, grape juice, pomegranate juice, machino cherries, pineapples, pineapple juice, oranges, strawberries, raspberries, grapes, lemons, cream cheese, sour cream, ginger ale, and cheese and crackers. Woo! And he'd better get some bags of ice to cool down all those items in his truck, and to keep all those things fresh as it was heating up and the sun started bearing down. It was gonna be another scorcher today, he thought to himself. He loaded up and then stopped by Mr. DeWeeder's filling station. Mr. DeWeeder was sitting outside sipping his morning coffee. He loved coffee and nearly always had a small pot brewing inside. Mr. DeWeeder was a consummate gentleman, respectful and kind to everyone, and always offering to share a cup of coffee with anyone who had the time. While the gas station attendant Glenn filled up Jake's tank with gas, Jake didn't have much time, but he made the time and had a cup of coffee with Mr. DeWeeder. It was the right thing to do, because though things were important, people were more important. And he kept that in mind and always put people first. Mr. DeWeeder was a lovely man, with skin as beautifully brown as coffee grind. It was an unusual shade of majestic brown. Perhaps that's why he loved coffee so. It had to remind him of himself, certainly. Jacob's wife, Eppie, always described Mr. DeWeeder's skin as warm, bronze, brown, copper sunshine. dressed in curly coal-black hair. And even though he was a man of age, his hair didn't have a streak of gray in it. He was like a petrified, beautiful blackness, mature and yet ageless. Mr. DeWeeder was quite the storyteller. He could paint an auditory portrait like none other. His voice, his words, his descriptions were epic in every brushstroke, every line, lyric, and every detail was a tale to be continued. Jake finished his coffee and his talk for now with Mr. DeWeeder and headed into the store to pick up some special drinks for the party guests and some sparkly bubbles for Mrs. Precious. Glenn, the station attendant, said, "Mr. Jake, let me help you with those items." And Glenn loaded his truck for Jake. "Mr. DeWeeder, thank you for the cup of coffee. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And remember to come on by this evening and have some cake with us." "Son, I think I will. It surely is my intention to do just that. Give my kisses to the missus and those adorable double darlings of yours." Answered Mr. DeWeeder. "Thank you, Glenn," he said, and he shook Glenn's hand, and he waved goodbye to them and headed back. And now that he'd gotten what he could in the city town, Jake had a list for his country shopping that he had to gather from his own little town. First, he needed fresh peaches. Miss Ann said he could have some on and to come on by and pick all he wanted from her trees. She'd be happy to give them to him. So he did and thanked her. Next, he had to stop by Howard's Dairy for some fresh bottles of milk for Eppie. Mr. Howard had the best milk cows all around and the best milk and buttermilk you could ever wish for. Jake said, "I need 6 bottles today, Mr. Howard." Mr. Howard laughed and said, "Oh, y'all must have some more babies down there drinking all this milk." Jake said, "No, Lord, Eppie's making ice cream for the birthday party tonight. You should come on by and have some cake with us, too. My brother would love that. I better get pushing though. It's not getting any cooler, and I don't want this milk to curdle on me." "How much do I owe you?" Jake said. "Well, let me see. That's 6 bottles. That'll be none." "What?" Jake said. "0, nothing. You don't owe me a thing. Just save me a slice of cake and a bowl of ice cream, and we'll call it even. I and my wife will see you all later at the party. We can't wait to join you," said Howard. Jake answered, "You betcha, we will. Thank you. Bye till then." Jake's next appointment was to get to Joey's and pick some watermelons out at the watermelon patch. Jake especially wanted to make sure he picked some sweet, just right, ripe, and huge melons from Joey's farm. A watermelon was his brother's favorite fruit. and he wanted to make sure he had plenty for him to enjoy, as the melon season would soon be over. Jake greeted Joey, and Joey said, "Go ahead and pick the ones you want. I think there are some fairly large ones right over there." And on the right-hand side, near the back rows, the yellow meat melons are just about done now. But I pulled 4 or 5, especially for you. Early this morning, you know they get gone first. But you'll find those black diamonds over there where I told you. "Okay, great," said Jake. And he headed into the rows to pick the best melons he could find. The sun was really bearing down now. So Jake slipped from his straw hat onto his head. Jake began to wander through the huge field of row upon the watermelons. He searched and searched, finally picking out 6 beautiful watermelons, 5 black diamond, and an extra special and more expensive crimson sweet melon, which would be just for his brother to eat all by himself. After searching for just the right ones, Jake was now hot. And he knew if he was hot, he better rush those groceries home to the girls. They'd be waiting. So he hurried to settle up with Joey, bringing the melons 2 at a time, palming them in the bed of his truck. Joey brought out the other 5 yellow meat watermelons and placed them in the bed of Jake's truck too. "Okay now, that's 11 melons," said Joey. "That'll be $5. Jake reached into his pocket and he gave Joey $55 exactly. And he said, "Thank you so much." Jake turned his head to the truck and Joey stopped and said, "Wait, you forgot your change." "What? No, I don't have no change coming," said Jake. "Nope, you do. I just charged you $1 each for the yellow meat I picked, and the rest are on the house." Joey handed Jake back his $50 bill and said, "I wouldn't dare charge my best customer on his birthday. This remaining $5 I'll keep to buy seeds for next year." "I'll tell your brother happy birthday for me." "I sure will," said Jake. "But you should come on by and tell him yourself, and at least have some cake with us." "Well, I'll just have to do that. I got to get some hay before sundown, and it's hot. And I have a lick of energy. I'll have to try to get by there. But if you don't see me, tell him happy birthday for me." "Okay, wow man, thanks. I better get out of here. And these groceries got to get home to these women," said Jake. He laughed, shook Joey's hand, and waved goodbye to him. Thank y'all for watching the Big Lake Channel on location. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Big Lake Channel. And follow us wherever you may be in this world. The Big Lake Channel is on YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, and please check out our Spotify playlist. And go watch some basketball. Thank you so much. We'll have the next part of Seeds for you soon. Goodbye.